The news from Riyadh hit like a shockwave, reverberating not just through the kingdom but across the entire region and beyond. Overnight, the world's attention was fixed on Saudi Arabia, a nation long seen as nearly impenetrable. Saudi Arabia's billion-dollar defenses, once the pride of its military, had failed in the face of a new kind of threat. A swarm of cheap drones, allegedly launched by Houthi rebels, slipped past the kingdom's much-touted Chinese laser system, the so-called Silent Hunter, with shocking ease. This was supposed to be the future of warfare, a $100 million laser shield purchased to showcase cutting-edge Chinese military technology and reduce Saudi reliance on Western suppliers. It was a bold gamble, meant to signal a new era of independence and innovation. Instead, the Silent Hunter became a symbol of failure, sparking urgent questions about the reliability of China's arms industry and the wisdom of trusting unproven technology in real-world conflict. The attack exposed a vulnerability not just for Saudi Arabia, but for any nation betting its security on flashy, untested systems. The world saw that even the most expensive defenses can be undone by simple, low-cost tactics. These weren't advanced weapons, just cheap, mass-produced drones, the kind anyone could buy or build. Their success sent a chilling message to militaries everywhere. The fact that a state-of-the-art laser couldn't stop them was a wake-up call, shattering illusions of invincibility and forcing a painful reassessment of modern defense strategies. For Saudi leaders, the fallout is more than just damage control. It's a strategic crisis that threatens their national security and global reputation. Now they must decide. Can they trust new suppliers like China, or must they return to their complicated, often uneasy partnership with the West? The stakes have never been higher. The $100 million mirage has faded, and the world is watching Saudi Arabia's next move with bated breath, knowing it could set a precedent for others. This failure could reshape the global arms market for years to come, as nations reconsider where and how they invest in their own security. The lesson is clear. In modern warfare, hype is no substitute for proven reliability. Only time will tell if the world's militaries are truly listening. So, what exactly is the Silent Hunter, and why has it captured so much global attention? In essence, it's a high-powered laser weapon specifically engineered to burn drones right out of the sky with pinpoint accuracy. Developed by China's Poly Technologies, the Silent Hunter was introduced as a revolutionary, cost-effective solution to the growing threat of unmanned aerial vehicles. Its promise was simple: a new era of defense where lasers could neutralize swarms of drones at a fraction of the cost of traditional weapons. Unlike conventional missile systems, which can cost millions of dollars for each launch, the Silent Hunter's laser shots are powered by electricity, reportedly costing as little as $1 per use. This dramatic reduction in cost per engagement was a major selling point. The system is mounted on a truck, making it highly mobile and able to deploy rapidly. Using advanced radar and optical sensors, it can track, lock onto, and zap targets in mere seconds, offering a flexible defense against fast-moving threats. China showcased a 100% success rate in tightly controlled tests, releasing dramatic footage of the laser effortlessly slicing through steel plates and incinerating drone targets. These demonstrations were meant to inspire confidence in the system's reliability and power. For Saudi Arabia, which has faced relentless drone attacks targeting its infrastructure, this was an irresistible pitch: futuristic, affordable, and, on paper, nearly foolproof. The promise of a technological edge was too good to pass up. The kingdom quickly bought in, investing in the hope that this next-generation technology would finally tip the balance in their favor and provide a decisive upper hand in defending their skies. But the promise of a perfect, impenetrable shield was about to be shattered by the harsh realities of actual combat. On the battlefield, things rarely go as planned. The chaos, unpredictability, and sheer volume of attacks proved far less forgiving than any carefully edited marketing video. The Silent Hunter's failure wasn't just a technical setback, it struck at the heart of China's reputation as a rising arms exporter, casting doubt on the reliability of its most advanced systems. For international buyers, the lesson is now crystal clear. Real-world battlefield performance matters far more than bold claims or flashy demonstrations. Saudi Arabia learned this the hard way, facing disappointment and renewed vulnerability. And for China, it was a sobering reminder that in the world of defense, credibility is earned, not promised. Why did Saudi Arabia gamble on Chinese tech? Because it's under constant threat. Locked in a proxy war with Iran, Saudi oil facilities are prime targets for Houthi drone and missile attacks. The 2019 strike on Abqaiq and Khurais oil plants halved Saudi oil output overnight, shaking global markets. American-made Patriot missiles were built for jets and ballistic missiles, not swarms of cheap, low-flying drones. This left a glaring hole in Saudi defenses, one the Houthis exploited repeatedly. The psychological toll is immense: air raid sirens, fear, and a sense of vulnerability even in the world's richest kingdom. The math didn't add up. Firing million-dollar missiles at $1,000 drones was unsustainable. Saudi Arabia needed a new solution: fast, affordable, and tailored for drones. The Silent Hunter seemed like the answer, a specialized, cost-effective fix for a dangerous gap. For a nation under siege, it felt less like a gamble and more like a lifeline. But desperation can cloud judgment, and in this case, it did. Buying the Sky Shield wasn't just about tech, it was a geopolitical move. For decades, Saudi Arabia relied on US weapons, but political tensions and American hesitancy pushed Riyadh to diversify. China offered advanced systems with fewer strings attached, no lectures, no restrictions, just business. Chinese arms are often cheaper and available when Western tech is off limits. The Silent Hunter represented a leap Saudi Arabia couldn't get from the West at the time. For China, it was a chance to prove its military tech on the world stage. For Saudi Arabia, it was a statement of independence and a warning to Washington. But the promise of autonomy came with hidden risks. The Sky Shield deal would soon reveal them. Laser weapons sound like something straight out of science fiction, but the underlying principle is surprisingly straightforward. A highly focused beam of light is used to heat up and destroy targets, often in just a matter of seconds. This intense energy can burn through metal, ignite fuel, or disable sensitive electronics, making lasers a potentially game-changing tool on the battlefield. The main advantage of laser weapons: it's all about speed and precision. Unlike traditional projectiles, lasers hit their targets instantly, with pinpoint accuracy, and can be directed with incredible control. The laser beam travels at the speed of light, making it impossible to dodge. As long as there's a steady supply of power, the weapon never technically runs out of ammunition, allowing for continuous firing during critical moments. This makes lasers especially effective against drone swarms. Dozens, even hundreds, of small, fast-moving targets can be engaged one after another, with barely any delay between shots. But despite the promise, the technology is extremely difficult to perfect. Engineers and scientists face constant challenges in making these systems reliable and robust enough for real combat. Lasers require enormous amounts of electrical power, and they generate intense heat, demanding complex and bulky cooling systems to keep them operational. Over long distances, the laser beam can spread out and lose its destructive power, a phenomenon known as thermal blooming. This effect is made worse by hot, turbulent air, which distorts and weakens the beam. And then there's the weather. Rain, fog, smoke, and especially dust particles in the air can scatter or absorb the laser's energy, making it far less effective or even useless in certain conditions. In harsh environments like the desert, blowing sand and extreme heat are constant adversaries, threatening to degrade performance and reliability at every turn. These technical and environmental challenges have kept laser weapons from becoming standard issue on the battlefield, even for the world's most advanced militaries. The Chinese Silent Hunter laser system was designed to overcome many of these hurdles, promising a new era of directed energy warfare. But when it was deployed in the unforgiving Saudi desert, the reality proved far more complicated than the theory. The gap between what was promised and what actually happened on the ground was about to become painfully obvious, exposing the limits of current technology. And as the failed tests would soon show, the cost of these shortcomings would be enormous, not just in money, but in lost opportunities and shaken confidence. In Saudi Arabia, the Silent Hunter's high-tech promise met the harsh desert reality. Fine sand and dust filled the air, scattering the laser's beam and slashing its range. Scorching heat overwhelmed the system's cooling, forcing shutdowns or reduced power. The drones themselves may have been modified. Reflective coatings or simple paint made them harder to burn. In a real attack, with multiple fast-moving targets, the lasers simply couldn't keep up. The 100% success rate was a lab fantasy. The battlefield was chaos. The Silent Hunter was engineered for perfect conditions, not the unpredictability of war. Its failure was a brutal lesson. Weapons must be tested in the environments where they'll fight. Saudi Arabia paid dearly to learn this. The Saudi incident exposed a core weakness in China's arms industry: lack of real combat testing. Western weapons are battle-proven, refined by decades of war and constant upgrades, Buyers get not just hardware but experience, support, and proven tactics. China's systems, by contrast, are largely untested in real conflict, impressive on paper, but unproven under fire. When nations buy Chinese weapons, they're often the first to discover hidden flaws. Saudi Arabia became an expensive beta tester for the Sky Shield. The lesson specs and marketing videos mean little without battlefield validation. In war, only proven reliability counts. The Silent Hunter's failure isn't unique, it's part of a troubling pattern with Chinese arms exports. Many buyers, lured by low prices and easy deals, have faced reliability issues, poor support, and disappointing performance. From drones in Jordan to fighter jets in Pakistan, complaints about breakdowns and lack of spare parts are common. China's after-sales support lags far behind Western standards, leaving expensive gear idle when it's needed most. The focus is often on making the sale, not building long-term trust. The Silent Hunter is just the latest, most visible example. China can build advanced-looking weapons, but consistent, reliable performance remains elusive. For buyers, the risks are becoming impossible to ignore. The fallout from the Silent Hunter's failure is huge for China's ambitions and Saudi Arabia's security. China's reputation as a global arms supplier has taken a major hit. The deal was meant to prove Chinese tech could rival the West. Instead, it's a cautionary tale. For Saudi Arabia, the pivot away from the US has run into a costly wall. American systems may be imperfect, but they're battle-tested. The kingdom may have to return to Western partners, giving up some autonomy for proven security. The ultimate lesson: trust in weapons must be earned in combat, not bought with promises. For any nation, defense is about more than specs, it's about survival. The Silent Hunter's failure is a warning: demand proof, not just promises. In war, the price of misplaced trust is written in smoke and fire.